Could you, before we start, could you throw me my chapstick? It has the Fun Dip logo on it because I'm a 15-year-old child.
No, listen. Actually, maybe that's something we'll talk about on the podcast. Everybody wants my Christmas list, and I feel like I'm 12.
Oh. No, I get that.
It was a sunny day anyway, so why should we complain? It was a sunny day anyway.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Thunder and Lightning podcast. I'm Thunder.
And I'm Lightning, believe it or not. Here I am.
Yeah. Do you wanna take it away?
Sure, if we want to jump right into it. So, I'm gonna try to start from the beginning as I can.
Yeah. First of all, welcome back to your own channel.
Thank you. It's been a roller coaster. So I've been very in the shadows about my new job, and that's because HIPAA is involved. If people don't know what HIPAA is, it's essentially, I work with people who have the right for me to not tell people that I work with them. And I'm going to, not give any names, not give any company names. And I might give away one name, and that's my good friend, who's also my boss. So,
and whose voice is ever present.
You just heard
in this podcast.
Yeah, you just heard his voice in the song at the beginning of this podcast. Yeah. So I work for a group home for older gentlemen. I'm still trying to find the proper way to say this, but with mental disabilities. And last Thursday, a week before last Thursday, one of the residents had a cough. I guess he usually has a cough. He just does.
Okay.
So nobody thought too much about it. Last Thursday, and it is Sunday of the next week that we are recording this.
Yes.
We got word that one of the staff was positive, COVID positive. And I was told originally that I had no direct contact with the staff member. You know what? I think I can get away with this without even saying his name. But the singer for Froggy and the Friendship, kind of did. I think he told us who the staff member was.
Yeah.
Rightfully so, because it turns out I did work with this guy. Not a lot. He wasn't there every day.
Yeah.
But I definitely shared. He's comes in at 1, I leave at 3.
Okay.
And I had a few shifts like that with him.
Yeah.
Leading up to this. So he tests positive. And then on Thursday and Friday, the whole house gets tested.
Yeah.
Everybody gets tested for COVID. And we're taking we have all the PPE, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's the gown, the gloves.
Essentially a hazmat suit that nurses and doctors have been wearing this whole time.
Yeah, if you've seen the end of E.T., that's what we all looked like, essentially. In the face shield, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we went right into crisis mode, which is a good thing. And then I go home. That's Friday. I go home, and I quarantine for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to get these test results in 2 to 3 days, so Saturday I'm not expecting anything. Sunday I'm expecting something.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday comes, nothing happens.
Me too. You told me you kept me updated.
Yeah.
All of Sunday happened, and I was like, I feel like we're going to be recording tomorrow because he should have had his test results by now.
Yeah. And luckily I wasn't scheduled to work Monday, which you were just talking about. We were going to record Monday, and still nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm annoyed at this point.
Yeah.
Because I've been self-quarantining, and when I say self-quarantining, I mean my room and the bathroom, and I disinfected everything I touched from there and back. A Hobbit's Tale.
You did say the thing.
And so Monday comes, nothing happens. Tuesday I go into work, and some people had gotten their results back at this point, and I was very like, what the F? What's going on? I have my parents who I live with are both immune compromised.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd seen Pauline, I'd seen you, I'd seen John, the drummer for my band. I'd seen a shit ton of people, and I need to give these people answers. They deserve answers. I
Right.
deserve answers.
Yeah.
Still nothing. So Tuesday night, I essentially told Ryan, I don't want to go back home. I don't want to put my family in danger like this.
Right.
I'd like to stay here till I get my test results. I worked a 14-hour shift that day because one of the women who is also immune compromised didn't want to come in for her shift. So I just said, well, if I'm going to be here anyways, I might as well work that shift too.
Yeah.
So roughly around 10 o'clock, Ryan comes down and essentially announces that he just got word that everybody except 2 people is negative. And I was one of those negatives.
Yeah.
So after that shift at 11 o'clock, I went home.
Oh, sorry. Alexa, stop. It's my alarm to wake up. I woke up very early today. Alexa, stop.
We get it.
What did she think I said? Did she think I said start
Alarm?
the alarm again right
yeah,
now?
I think
the
you said the word alarm, and she was like, I'll do it again.
Whoever would be like, alarm, hang on, wait, stop. Okay, keep going.
And so I went home, no precautions, because I was told I was negative,
Mm-hmm.
and I trust the gear we've been using. Since we started using the proper gear, I have no concerns. It's what Pauline uses.
Yeah.
And, we trust her being here, and
Mhm.
she's doing the right stuff, and I had to read a friggin' giant packet on how to properly, and I had to sign it and everything.
Oh,
like,
cool.
I had to read how to properly use this equipment and
Yeah.
stuff, so I'm not infecting. So I'm not using it and then accidentally infecting myself anyways.
Yeah.
Essentially, so I'm not a dumbass who wears the mask over his mouth and goes about like I'm not going to hurt somebody.
Right.
And so I go home, and now it's Wednesday. I'm trying to get the days right. It all started to blend together.
Yeah.
That was either Tuesday or Wednesday. Now it's either Wednesday or Thursday. It was Wednesday. I didn't have work Thursday. That's what it was. I was going to have Thursday off no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So that was Tuesday. I come in Wednesday. And I'm told the boss above my boss above my boss is coming in. And I assumed it was like just to be like, hey, you guys holding the fort down. That's awesome.
Yeah.
For the record, my boss, my friend, singer for Froggy and the Friendship, has
You already
been
said his name.
Oh, Ryan. Ryan has been living there. Christ. I don't want to say too many times because I should ask him if it's okay to say his name.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my best to avoid saying his
Okay,
name.
I mean you've got a whole week before this
Yeah.
podcast goes up.
Yeah.
So if I truly need to censor something, just let me know.
Yeah, no, he's actually messaging me now, so I might just ask him.
All right.
But yeah, so he's been living there, and he's been working directly. At this point, we find out the resident who had a cough is positive. So now we have a resident and a staff member who tested positive.
Mm-hmm.
And so she comes in, and essentially an hour before the end of my shift, she comes in, and I'm about to leave to go do something for one of the staff members. They needed me to go pick something up for them. And she says, "Oh, hold on. Can I talk to you for a minute?" She pulls me aside and essentially says, "So we were premature in telling you you're negative." Essentially what she says is there's still 2 staff members pending, or there's still 2 people in the house pending, and you're also still pending. Not only are you also still pending, we're not sure they have your test. And I kind of freak out at that point. And I just say, listen, I'm going home. I'm not coming back till I get a negative test. So this is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is 6 days in to the ordeal. Or 5 or 6 days into the ordeal. I still don't have a test result back. I flat out said I'm not coming back till I get a test result. On Thursday, I went to our local high school and got a test. Like I said to you, they were more concerned about what race I am than if I was exposed, if I'm symptomatic, which blew my mind. I guess it doesn't matter. I assumed they were going to have a priority. But and like I said to you, maybe my race is my priority. Maybe they were like, oh, he's white. All right, well, get his out there first. If that's the case. I just didn't get it. And then I kind of freaked out because I was supposed to be getting a rapid result test. And those people just hadn't called me. And I was just done, honestly. You know that picture of Daniel Radcliffe, that meme of him in the bathrobe and the 2 guns?
Oh, my God, yeah.
That was me. That was me all week.
I still don't know what the fuck that was from. He's clearly filming some sort of movie that I've never seen. That fucker makes some weird movies sometimes.
Yeah. He seems like he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
But actually, he just texted me twice right now as we speak, so I'm just gonna... Everybody's test came back negative. God, this is just spoilers at this point, Ryan. Thanks.
Thanks for ruining the structural integrity of Chris's story.
Dude, we held that shit together, is what he said.
Nice. Nice.
So, damn, way to ruin the story. As if me being on this podcast didn't give away at least part of it. So, waiting for the rapid test result, I said, fuck it, I'm going to the ER. I was hoping they'd do something.
Because at this point, this is 3 tests you've taken with no results, essentially, right?
2. This is 2 so far, no results. To be fair, I literally, from that test, just drove straight to the ER.
Yeah.
Because I was starting to feel symptomatic. I had a cough. I had chest congestion. And I was getting nervous.
And like you said, at that point, it could have just been you in your own head to some degree.
Oh, yeah. It could have been me in my own head. And I'll tell you exactly what it is once I've reached the conclusion of the story. Went to the ER, sat in... So I walked in. I said, I've been exposed. I'm feeling symptomatic. I thought the receptionist was going to shit herself. She even was like trying to hand me the thing, and I was like, I'll put it on if you want. And she was like, thank you. And I was like, yeah. Why the fuck do you work here? So I went, then she just told me to sit down, and I was like, okay. And then another woman came in, and she was like, no, you come here. You do not sit with these people. And I was like, that's what I assumed. And then she brought me to, like, Christ, where you start a zombie apocalypse game. And I sat there. The seats were spread out, wide open room. I thought this is where I get shot. I thought this was the end of it.
Jesus. I mean, at this point, might as well, right?
Every bit of media tells me they bring you to the large room and keep bringing you to another room one by one, but you never see somebody come back from that room. But you hear a big bang every time somebody goes in there. And essentially...
I wonder what that bang was. The sixth one today.
I was in a room with 2 other confirmed positive people already. And, like, I'm putting myself at a ton of risk here. So, I'm like, rapid result test? And they were like, no. You set up an appointment for that shit. Which, are they in short supply? I don't get it. I don't understand why I can't go in, say, hey, this stuff. I just need to know on the fly if I have it or not. They can't do that.
Yeah, the jig is kind of up. Like we all pretty much know at this point that it takes about 2 hours to get the results of a COVID test.
And so essentially what they said to me was, unless you're sick enough to get admitted, which sick enough to get admitted to me, 'cause just hearing the people who were positive around me sounds like you have to be on the brink of death to get admitted to hospital for this at this point.
Yeah.
You will not get a rapid test. They even went the next step and were like, we're not even going to give you a regular test because you just told us you drove here from a test. And I was like, fair. That's fair. They were, however, they said, listen, what we've been doing is we'll give you a chest x-ray. And it's not as good as a test, but it'll let us know if you have COVID or pneumonia type stuff going on in your lungs. And so I did that, and I waited. I was out of the house. I went to the test at the high school at 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3 o'clock now at the ER. I wasn't fucking around.
Yeah.
I spent my whole day doing this.
Was most of that wait in line at the high school? Because it's not
2 hours at the high school.
Jesus Christ. Because
2
it's not that
hours.
long of a drive.
No. Driving might have been 40 minutes of my whole day.
Yeah. Damn.
So while I was waiting in the ER, rapid result people messaged me, or call me, I should say. And while I'm sitting there in the panic room at the hospital, I set up an appointment for them for the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So Friday.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, this is how serious they're taking this shit at the hospital. They took my temperature and then just gave me the thermometer.
Oh, damn.
They were just like, that's yours now.
Damn.
And it's funny because I was thinking that because she put it in my mouth and I was like, I wonder how many COVID positive people. At that point, I knew I had it. In my head, I was like, I don't give a shit. I mean, I already have it. I can promise you I have it.
That thermometer is a nice little hyper-contagious souvenir to share with.
She put it in a container
Okay.
and handed it to me, and I still have it at home. And she was like, free thermometer, there you go. And I was like, I hope I live long enough to utilize it again.
The camera zooms out and you're talking to your great-grandchildren and the thermometer is still on the bureau.
I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it in the thing.
It's glistening in the morning light.
One of Pauline's friends who's also, she's also a nurse, has a box of COVID stuff. She's just been like keeping... she's like, this will be something I remember the rest of my life. And I was like, she's been doing it since like February.
Damn.
She was like ready.
I guess I've technically been doing that too. It's called Animal Crossing New Horizons, but I understand it's not exactly the same thing.
So I finally get home.
Mm-hmm.
I got a test at 3 o'clock, a rapid result test on Friday. I'm beat. I'm in my room. Back up a second.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor comes back in. My chest looks fine. He does say, does your right side hurt, though? And I said, no, why? And he said, it looks like you have a cracked rib. And I just didn't care at that point. I was like, okay.
No, I'm sure neck deep in like 5.5 COVID tests, cracked rib is like, this might as well happen today.
Yeah, and he was very like, if your side doesn't hurt, they could have just been hyper analyzing that rib. Like, you might not have a fracture or crack or whatever. So I just didn't care.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care. Am I dying? That's the question I need an answer to. So Friday comes along. Go to do the rapid result test, and they were like, I was freaking out. They were like closed. It was 3 o'clock, and in the rapid result section was closed. It was like essentially a trailer in the parking lot of the hospital that you go to. It's like a drive-up thing.
Yeah.
And there was a security guard there, and he was essentially like, just park, and we'll, when it's, because I was like, is this open? Is this the rapid result place? And he was like, just park. It is. He was. I'm watched every single person who come up ask him this question, so
Yeah.
I'm sure he was just sick of it.
Yeah.
So then,
But like, also maybe make your facility look more open.
yeah, well, no, I mean, it straight up wasn't open.
Oh,
hadn't started
I
yet.
see. I see. I see.
There was a giant "Do Not Enter" sign at where we were
Got
supposed to start going in. So they do open up, and he starts like a cop would, he starts pointing and telling you to come forward.
Like a person directing traffic at an amusement park.
Yeah. And he pointed at me second. And he didn't know who I was. And I was like, well, I have a time. I'm supposed to be here. I don't want to cut people off. And before all that, there was this van who just kind of parked in front of the place. And he was like, nah, get your shit out of here. Go park in a parking spot.
Oh, okay.
Like trying to be the first one in line.
Yeah.
And I drove up to him. I had to show him my license and all that stuff. And he was like, so what's your name, bud? And, I told him, I'm at 310. And I was straight up like, I don't want to cut people off if people got a time before me. And he was like, no, that van was trying to cut somebody off. You're fine. So essentially, it's just a drive-through thing. It seems like the times didn't really matter. That's just
okay.
their way of
making sure you're there.
Making sure you're there in, this is how many people we can have today.
Right. Right. I see.
So I pull up. I was second. Like I said, I was second in line. So I get up to the woman, and she's in the full get up.
Mhm.
And
The one you've been donning for the last week and a half.
Yeah, and so she takes this swab out because, it's a nasal swab.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing's like a sword. It's just like, shing. And thing's got to be like 6 feet long. And she goes, just one nostril. And I was like, all right. And then she shoves that whole thing right up my nose. It was, oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay, for real. It must have been like 5 inches long.
Yeah.
It felt like the whole thing went up my nose. Because beforehand, I've just been doing the ones. I've even been like, hey, you can get up there a little more if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But this one, she was very nice, and I could tell this was how one is supposed to be done, and that was a lot. 20 minutes. 20 minutes for me to find out I was negative.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, you just
I
hung
drove
in the
home.
parking lot. Oh,
I
drove home and they called you?
Yeah, drove home, email.
Damn.
20 minutes. So, this is Friday. I'm sorry this is taking so long.
No,
this is
you're good.
week, so I'm this has to be entertaining. It was entertaining to me, and I lived it. So this is Friday. Essentially, what I say to he who shall maybe be named in my work is someone effed up, and I essentially need to know if I need to lawyer up because this isn't okay. Still no word from the original test.
Right.
And essentially I was just like, while I'm sitting at home doing nothing, I want somebody to explain to me what happened.
Yeah.
So Ryan, all I kept saying to Ryan was, all I want is contact for that lab that did it. Because the company, the corporation that I worked for, cut their contract or their whatever with this lab and started going to a new one because of how poorly the situation was handled.
Yeah.
Not just with me, but everybody else. We had a COVID positive resident living at the house for 5 days,
Yeah.
maybe 6, before they could tell us if he was positive or not. And the Board of Health knew before we did. We got a letter in the mail from the Board of Health before this lab could tell us they were positive.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it really was. So he sends me a screenshot of the email the lab sent him because he did get his test back finally, and he was negative, the original test. And also I meant to mention I got a second test from the new lab on Friday. Not that important. Nothing fun happened there.
Yeah.
So there was a customer service number. So this corporation I work for has been working day and night to try and get our results back.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, have you seen the Blues Brothers?
I have not.
At the end of the Blues Brothers, I'm pretty sure it's still the biggest car chase in cinema history. police chase,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a scene where they're all just running through this building like trying to get the Blues Brothers, and they're just sitting in an elevator, like jamming to the elevator music. That's what I felt like. Like all these people are like and I'm just sitting there listening to the jingle, waiting for customer service to pick up.
Waiting for whatever royalty-free music they have.
Yeah,
15-second loop of royalty-free music they have pumping through the phone.
and this woman picks up, and she's a bitch. And I was essentially like, here's my situation. I just want to know how it could possibly have happened that you people lost my test result. And she was like, what's your company's code with us? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, well, I can't look you up if you don't have the code. And I was like, she was like, what's your name? I was like, Chris DeLuca. And she was like, from this place? And it was just a city in Massachusetts I'd never heard of. And I was like, awesome. This is how this company handles stuff. And I was like, no. And she was like, what's your middle name? And I gave her my middle name. And she was like, it's negative. And I was like, hold on. Let's rewind a little bit. You just told me you could not find my test result without this code
Yeah.
for a corporation that I obviously don't have because I'm a per diem staff member there.
Right.
And she was like, I looked you up. And I was like, then why couldn't you just say, let me try looking you up? I was just so mad. What I really said was, well, that's news to me. Thanks.
It seems like she, in looking for this code that you would have had to recite for her, it seems like she made an effort to make her job easier, but it sounds like her job was already pretty easy. Like,
Yeah.
it seems like all she needed was... It seems like she had, like,
I
the
gave her-
entire lab's, like, results right
Yeah.
in front of her at her fingertips, and she just needed to look you up.
I gave her the zip code of the house that I worked for, the house address, and my name. Which seems like enough information, and it
Yeah.
turns out it was. I don't know why she gave me this nonsense about a code I clearly don't have. I was very upfront with her about who I am, what I did, and how I'm very symptomatic at this point. I had an awful cough and chest congestion. It was scary.
Mm.
And so I get that result back. It's negative. I call him and I let him know it's negative. And his response is essentially, well, that's good. It's old news. And I was like, you're right. But at this point, I have a rapid result negative. I have that negative. Then Saturday came. I get the result from the high school that I'm negative.
Mm-hmm.
And this morning, I got the result back from the new lab, the second test from work, negative.
Mhm.
So I have 4 negatives in the past week. I was tempted to make a video on it and just have the video be called "How hard is it to find out if you are negative from COVID-19?" And that's been my week.
So why did you what's wrong with, why did you have a cough and chest and stuff?
I think
Why do you have a chest? That's how I worded it.
I think my body does this a lot. I think I worked myself up. I think I was panicking. And
you also worked a lot.
I also
in
worked
in a week's time.
a shit ton. Not as much as him.
Right.
He just got home today. He had been
Yeah.
living there since last Thursday. It's Sunday of this week. He's
Yeah.
been living there practically 2 weeks.
That's rough
He-
and tumble.
Yeah. Insane. And now he's got to go quarantine still because he works so directly with somebody who had it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I worked myself up, and I also got to a point in it where I accepted my fate. So I also just started not caring, and I think my body kind of shut down, and I got a cold. I think I
Yeah.
have a cold.
Legit, actual cold.
Yeah, 'cause of just everything.
Yeah.
Just everything.
No, that makes sense to me. Because why wouldn't you at a certain point in this story? Why wouldn't you just I fucking have it? Like
No, yeah.
I'll just die, I guess. I
No,
don't care.
that was It's that meme. It's the guess I'll just die.
Is that Kermit? No, that's not Kermit, right?
That's that weird cat. There's a few of them. There's Zac Efron who does it. There's that weird cat that's like.
Oh, I don't. Maybe I'm not familiar. Maybe I've just heard you talk about it.
But I was done.
Yeah.
Me and my family went through a lot of pain and unnecessary exposure
Mm-hmm.
through all this, and like I said to essentially everybody, somebody's got to answer for this. But right now there's a job to do. So once things have completely calmed down, I'm gonna see if I can get. Thank you, motorcycle. I'm gonna see if I can get more info. But that's been my week, and now I'm here, and now we will move on from this. This might have been the whole podcast. How long did I go on for?
That was 32 minutes.
Oh my God, I'm
Probably
so sorry.
Probably more like 30 and a half because we didn't start right away when we
Right.
hit record.
How was your week?
Oh, my week has been so very different from yours and incredibly uneventful. But I do, if there's only one thing I talk about on this podcast, I made a small list of things I wanted to talk about. But
Sure.
Okay. It finally happened. I finally heard a theme song that made me cry.
Wow.
And it was the new Animaniacs theme song.
Oh,
and
yeah?
Yeah. So first of all, the new Animaniacs is great.
Yeah.
I've been really liking it. I don't know if anyone listening has been watching it, but
I thought you were going to ask me. I was like, I've been seeing if I'm going to die.
oh
this
no, you
week.
definitely have been watching it. No, no, it's great. There's a like nearly every episode. There's a extensive Pinky and the Brain segment, and they do the theme song for that each time too,
Cool.
which is like super unnecessary and also really cool. And apparently, also, if I might add, apparently if you're the Animaniacs, you can just do and say whatever you want. Like, you can make fun of Fuller House, and you can hang out with B. Arthur's ghost, and you
Oh.
can talk about every person who's lost and won the election over the last 20 years, including but not limited to the current president, and the basically the only thing they didn't talk about was COVID because this show was written in 2018.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, they actually say that in they have like a catch-up song where they're like, here's all the things we missed. And they talk about Trump, and they're like, we think that Trump is still president, but it is 2018 when we're writing this. So, but no, it's great. All the original voice actors are back, which is awesome. For Yakko, Wacko, Dot, Pinky, and the Brain, which is really cool. Because they're all still voice acting, right? So might as well. But the theme song, so they changed some of the lyrics. There's one lyric in particular that they had to change because Bill Clinton is no longer president, unfortunately. But essentially the whole beginning part is the same, where I have the lyrics in front of me just so I wouldn't forget, where they're like, here's who we are and here's the plot. And then when they introduced the characters, they changed Dot is cute to Dot has wit, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And instead of Bill Clinton plays the sax, they say our careers have made comebacks, which
nice.
is cool. So the part, they got rid of all their extended cast of characters. It's essentially just the Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain holding down the fort, which is not a bad thing at all. So instead of going over those people, this is how the second verse of the song goes now. Meet Pinky and the Brain who want to rule the universe. A brand new cast who tested well in focus group research. Gender balanced, pronoun neutral, and ethically diverse. The trolls will say that we're passé, but we did meta first.
I like that.
Yeah. And then the rest of it was essentially the same, and they still do the changing the one part to be different each time. Which is always fun. I thought that was really cool, and I cried a little when I first heard it because I was like, that was so good. I listened to it like 4 times in a row. It was just so good. They had they had a job to do, and their job, and they could have achieved it by either changing absolutely nothing about the theme song and just like re-recording it, but that would have been a little weird, explicitly because of the Bill Clinton stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure, okay, maybe this is just me wishful thinking. And I know the man doesn't play saxophone, but Bill Clinton is the same exact syllables as Joe Biden. So maybe next season, I don't know. We'll see.
That's funny.
But no, it's great. There was this episode, if I can spoil a whole episode for a sec. So they made a big deal to mention, like, there's no more side characters. It's just us, the cop, and Pinky and the Brain. And there's, like, a new, like, I'm the CEO of Warner Brothers character, and she's a black female, which is pretty cool. So there's this one episode where they wake up, and they're like, it's so empty. There used to be like a ton of other characters here, and Yakko just lists them all, essentially. And then it cuts to like this like what do you call it? Like a big game hunter, and he had all them on his wall.
Oh god.
Like he had hunted and killed all the extra characters.
Oh god.
And he's like, all that's left to do is hunt and kill the Animaniacs, basically. So the whole episode is them running from him. And then at the end of the episode, okay, I've said this before, maybe not on the podcast, but my favorite bit from the original Animaniacs was Chicken Boo. Do you remember Chicken Boo?
No.
The skit was essentially he's a giant chicken and he's doing human things. So it'll be like a Rocky parody, but he's Rocky, but he's a giant chicken, and his name is Chicken Boo. And it goes on for like 10 minutes, and then the whole bit is his clothes fall off or whatever, and it's like, wait a minute, that's just a giant chicken. And then he like bagawk into the camera, and then the fucking song is like, he's not a man, he's a chicken, boo. So and that's the whole fucking joke, and I fucking love that shit so much. And at the very end of the episode, they're talking to the they're having like the big confrontation with the big game hunter character, and they're like, what about Chicken Boo? You have everyone on your wall except us and Chicken Boo. And then they were essentially like, this is a quote directly from our contract. Chicken Boo was the worst rated character on the original show, and he will absolutely by no means come back to the show. And then it is revealed that the big game hunter was Chicken Boo the whole time. So the whole episode about him killing side characters was an elaborate Chicken Boo skit.
Awesome.
And I was like, yes. And it's also revealed that none of them were actually dead at the end of the episode. They were just like, they didn't explain it, but they just like had the like, you know, you put the head up on a, like a plaque.
Yeah, yeah.
They had like the plaques around their neck, and they were like all still alive.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what Lunatics Unleashed is?
No. You know what? I saw that the Animaniacs made fun of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lunatics Unleashed was... So they had an episode where Dot started singing a song about women's suffrage, about how it was like the 100th anniversary of women being able to vote or whatever. And then she realized that halfway through the song, the cartoons aren't allowed to vote still. So the song turns into that. And essentially, like, so many characters that Warner Brothers doesn't own showed up. Like the Flintstones and all this shit. But at one point, the Lunatics Unleashed shows up. So, and I was like, what the fuck? So I just can't believe they referenced it. Lunatics Unleashed was in like 2003. I think it lasted for 2 seasons. Yeah, because it has 2 different theme songs for each season. That's how I know shows. But it was essentially like a Looney Tunes anime. It was like what if Bugs, Taz, Wile E. Coyote, and Daffy, and I think Sylvester like had superpowers and like weird backstory, origin stories things, and everyone hated it, and it did awful. And they mentioned that on Animaniacs, and I was like, how could you? This is so great. They also, Bill Clinton did make an appearance with his saxophone, and he played the Friends theme song in the fountain from the Friends theme song. And it's just like, you can really do whatever the fuck you want on Animaniacs, huh? And it got to the point where I was like, the only thing they haven't parodied is Disney. And then next episode they did it. They parodied Sorcerer's Apprentice. And I was like, cool, awesome. The show is great, and I love it.
That's so much money.
No, I know. You can assume, right? Like, it was, I feel like Hulu was always like, I feel like there was a couple conversations between people at Hulu who were like, okay, they do a lot of. We might have to pay some.
Is
some
Hulu
form of-
making this now?
Oh yeah,
I
this
actually
is
didn't know that.
this is a quote unquote Hulu original.
So do they still live at Warner Brothers Studios?
Yeah, the show is still produced by Warner Brothers. It
Oh,
still
okay.
says Steven Spielberg presents Animaniacs.
Okay.
There was I forget. There's a lot of things that. There's a lot of things that the Animaniacs have said in throwaway jokes that they would not have said in '98.
Yeah.
And it's making me very happy. I'm almost done. There's 13 episodes.
All right. Oh well, yeah. It came out on Hulu, so
Yeah,
it's all
they-
out there.
Yeah, Hulu. Unlike its its colleague Disney Plus, just drops a whole damn season like we all have this whole time.
Right.
Yeah. So I've been really liking that. If I can blow through some bullet points real quick.
Yeah.
So have you heard of a new movie coming out called We Can Be Heroes?
I don't think so.
It is a superhero movie being made by Robert Rodriguez, the guy who makes Spy Kids,
Mm-hmm.
and more importantly, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, because Shark Boy and Lava Girl are going to be in this film.
Oh, I did hear
And
something about that.
They got the original actress who played Lava Girl to play Lava Girl, which is cool. And they revealed in the trailer that they are officially married and they have a daughter, and the daughter's like one of the main characters. This movie comes out in like 2 weeks, and there's just like one 40-second trailer about it. No one's really talking about it, but I heard about that, and I was like, I need to tell someone. Also,
Sucks to be Shark Boy,
what do you mean?
the original actor.
Oh, I mean the original Shark Boy actor is Taylor Lautner, who was in Twilight, so I think he's doing just fine.
Oh,
I
well.
think it was the other way around where he was like, I'm good. I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's a life I don't want to return to. And like, I blame him. I remember the rap he did. Also, something I wanted to talk about. I don't think I've mentioned it. I think I've mentioned it to you, but I don't think I've mentioned this even once ever on the podcast. But Unis Honest finally came to an end. Unis Honest was the YouTube channel that Markiplier and Crank Gameplays do, that they were like, in a year, we're going to delete it. And then they totally did. So they had a video each day, and the videos were whatever. The videos were like bits, like what if we do this today, and today we're
Yeah.
gonna try this, and is hypnosis real? It was a lot of like, most of it was like, it was funny, but it was existential type stuff, like how hard is it to buy a custom coffin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I got surprisingly emotional because I'd watched all of them. I kept up with it. I watched them all every day, and they had a 12-hour live stream the day of, and they deleted the channel that they were live streaming from live on stream,
Wow.
which no one has ever done before. So what happened was I was watching that on my TV. I had one of their videos, just a random one, pulled up on my phone because I'd never experienced this either. I want to see what happened if it was deleted. So they hit delete. The stream goes dark. It keeps running for a couple seconds, and then it shuts down. It immediately gets turned into a video on demand, like a 12-hour long video you can watch. And then that immediately gets deleted, and then the video I was watching stopped, and it was like, we found an error, please retry. And I scrubbed forward, I scrubbed backward, there was no watching the video. And I tried to get a good screenshot of it as it was like deloading itself, and Egoraptor from Game Room's got a way better picture. It's essentially like the default like blue with the silhouette of a like, this is where your username could be, and it just said Unis Honest, this channel does not exist.
Oh,
It
wow.
was so cool. It was
Why-
really cool.
Why delete the channel? Why not just leave it?
Because they well, first of all, it was an allegory for life, everything comes to an end eventually, was their whole big like thesis statement, if there was one about Unis Honest. But essentially the two reasons that I have from listening to them talk about this, that I could estimate that they did this, was one, no one's ever done it before. Obviously channels have been deleted, and all of its contents is gone. But no one has ever been like, this is when we're going to delete it, and we're going to do it, and then they did it, and I think most of it was just to see if they could, it because it elicited a response from people. A lot of people were like, oh, that's neat, I'll tune into that. But a lot of people, like up until like the last half hour, were like, they're not going to fucking do it. They're not going to delete this shit. Are you kidding me? They made so much money off this channel, probably. They have like 5 million subscribers.
Yeah.
But they did it. And honestly, like it's one of those things where like if you take a step back, obviously if you and I tried to do that, it wouldn't do good. The reason it was successful is because Markiplier, who has like 22 million subs, and Crank Gameplays, who has like 3 million subs, are already famous
Right,
within their own
right.
right. So they don't need this second channel to live off of. Once
Right.
Unisonus goes away, they'll be totally fine.
Still though, how can you say no to money?
Oh no, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it just to me that it's all very poetic,
yeah.
and I appreciate it. It seems unnecessary to me.
No, it turns your videos, each individual, into a finite money making asset avenue. You know what I mean? Like you make a video, you monetize it. It as long as it's getting views, it's getting a little tiny bit of money.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But
It's honestly, when it boils down to it, very poetic, very, if something happened in their life where they feel like they need to do this, fine, whatever. From the outside looking in, it's like, oh, you just wasted a ton of money for no reason. You have a dead channel that's still pumping out cash. That's pretty impressive.
Well, they could, but now they
Up until the moment they deleted it, it was.
right.
So, to me, a channel's dead when you stop posting.
Right.
And as is the internet, everything quote unquote lives forever. Just leave it alone. It's dead. It's gone. You have
Right.
moved on. You've stopped.
No, and
doing
I think that sentiment that you just said is the reason they deleted it. I think they wanted their project, call it what I almost said art, but call it what you will. They wanted their project to not exist anymore. They wanted Unis Honest to be a memory, which is all it is now, because people were doing like best of videos, like uploading their own like best of Unis Honest this week.
Yeah.
Those are all gone too. Everyone essentially like signed an unwritten contract that like, no, we'll delete our shit too. The fan subreddit is gone. The original subreddit is gone. And it's crazy. Like, there's obviously still, like, if you really searched, you could probably find some archived episodes up right now. But, like, eventually there's going to be no consumable Unis Honest, and it's just going to be like, remember when? It's whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And it's cool.
It's interesting.
It's definitely, like you said, I'm not discrediting your argument. Like you said, it's definitely not the smartest financial decision, but it is freaking cool. It is really neat.
And I can appreciate that aspect of it. Don't get me wrong. It's poetic. It's a romantic gesture in an age where everything lives forever.
Right.
I get it. Just, man, wouldn't it be nice to get rich enough where we delete our first YouTube channel with over 1 million views, followers, subscribers?
Yeah.
Because we're already making enough money doing the other one.
Their first video, that was just essentially them explaining how the channel was going to work, and the title of the video was just Unis Honest. It got to trending worldwide on YouTube in under an hour, and they got 1 million views they asked for 1 million views in a week. They got 1 million views in 2.5 days.
So they were already famous when they made this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Markiplier and Crank Gameplays have been around for a while, and Markiplier's sitting pretty at like.
I didn't know if this was their original project. Like.
No, this
that got
was
them
this.
started.
No, Markiplier's like got to be one of the biggest YouTubers out there still. He's sitting pretty at probably 30 million subs, and I think Ethan from Crank Gameplays has like 2, because the big joke was like once Unis Honest gets deleted, Ethan will lose 3 million subscribers or something like that. Because like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not subscribed to him.
Yeah.
I'm not subscribed to either of them. I don't love their channels, but this was so unique and what's the word? I was intrigued. It was intriguing.
Yeah.
I wanted to tune in. I wanted to be there. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It
was a historical moment.
In a couple years. I mean, right now, I'm saying in a couple years. Right now, I can be like, I was there. I watched every episode of Unis Honest start to finish, and I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
One of my like favorite videos on the internet was one of those videos. I watched like all the time. I thought it was so funny. They just did a bunch of like, the trolley problem, where it's like there's one body tied to the track. There's 5
Yeah.
over here, and if you don't do anything, it'll kill 5. But if you pull the lever, it'll kill 1. They just memed on that for like 20 minutes, and it was
Yeah.
like so funny because they're just like there wasn't really like a scripted thing they were doing. It was just like a funny like let's look at internet pictures essentially, and I loved it. I watch it all the time. It's fucking gone now, which is crazy.
Haven't said that, so we will be deleting this channel right now. No, God.
Yeah, no. Now announcing.
We've worked so hard to get to the small point that we are at.
I think what you meant to say is Chris and I are now announcing our new channel, Tunis Honest. No. I also.
Oh my God. What if we make the first ever cover YouTube channel where we just replicate all the YouTube videos of a channel that's dead now?
Oh man, we'd have to. We would have had to have started planning that a while ago, my dude.
How crazy would that be?
We could. I wouldn't be comfortable doing some of the things they did. They went to a police station and paid them to pepper spray them.
Oh my God.
They let pepper spray just sort of chill in their eyes for like 30 seconds or some shit like that.
Jesus.
Their first video, their first like real skit video, was called Cooking with Sex Toys, and it worked way better than you'd think it would. I also briefly, we're almost done with this podcast, going a little long, for our new format.
Yeah.
But I did want to talk about I found my next pop figure endeavor
Uh-oh.
because they made McDonald Land
I'm
pop
looking.
figures.
Oh, yeah?
Not just McDonald pop figures, McDonald Land
Oh,
pop
yeah, yeah,
figures.
yeah.
So they have the ones you'd expect. They
Get
have
that Grimace.
They have Ronald Grimace, the
Hamburger.
Hamburglar, and they have 2 mini ones
Mayor
for
McCheese.
the Fry Guys. They do have Mayor McCheese, which I was like, good.
Do they also have Constable, whatever he's called?
His name is Officer Big Mac, and yes, they do
He's dressed
have
like a constable.
his name is Officer Big Mac, and yes, they do have a pop figure of him. And I freaked out. I was like, what? I was like, Ronald McDonald, check. Grimace, check. Oh, they got Mayor McCheese. That's cool. Who's this other? Oh, my God, it's Officer Big Mac. I was like, the Mad Lads. They did it. They didn't have to include fan favorite character, beloved 90s creation, Officer Big Mac, but they've done it.
Do you remember the TV show? Not the TV show, the movies?
Yeah, the straight to DVD like weird art style movies. Yeah, Ronald McDonald had as explained by the wiki, the pessimistic dog named Sunday, who I can only assume was named after the Sunday ice cream treat that you can buy at McDonald's.
Weren't they kids in the movie, in the shows?
I don't remember. I feel like Ronald McDonald legally can't be portrayed as a kid. I don't think I've ever seen that full, like, I think if I saw teenage Ronald, I'd shit. Ronald to me will always be a full-grown, like, American voiced like adult.
Can we do a cinematic relief on one of the McDonald movies?
If you can find, they're probably online.
YouTube.
They're probably
They
on,
gotta
they're
be on
probably
YouTube.
They're probably on. Yeah, they're probably on one of those sites.
Yeah.
Watchanime.net or whatever.
Oh my God. Watch Cartoons Online has to have
yeah,
the
no,
McDonald's.
WCO's definitely getting down. What are those things called? We got it. Yeah, well, let's find those. Let's find those.
But we'll do that after this podcast.
Oh yeah.
I think we gotta end this podcast.
Oh no, I was
first.
about to do it right now.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Yeah, so like we mentioned, or like I mentioned in our last podcast, Chris was somewhere else, couldn't be there for it.
Too busy not dying.
Too busy trying to die, unsuccessfully die, or whatever the hell he was doing. We're switching the podcast game. We're not talking about videos on this one, video games on this one anymore. Not because we hate video games, but because we love video games so much that we're starting a new video game podcast. Title to be determined later on this afternoon, because it's Sunday when we're recording this, and
That shit's got to go up in like a day or something.
that shit goes up tomorrow, and this shit goes up in a week. So if you want video game news, want to know how much we love video games, tune into that. That'll be opposite cinematic relief on Mondays.
And this podcast is going to go back to what its original concept was. Like, Thunder said if you watch that video, this podcast was supposed to be a behind the scenes of getting to know us and how the channel runs and stuff that happened to us.
And we still talk about our week and
Oh,
stuff, but
yeah.
more often than not, it turns into a video game news podcast,
Yeah.
which is not a bad thing.
No. But why not just make that?
Right.
If it's gonna divulge to that, why not make that? And a lot of people have been tuning into this podcast, and we appreciate it. It seems like you guys are really into it. So hey, listen, if you like if you stuck around for the news and to get to know us and the bits, stay here. If you wanted our input on up-to-date video game news and games we've been playing on our own time that don't make it on the channel, go check out that new podcast.
And Goop Troop is not going anywhere. But to
probably not today though.
We're already done. This is the end of the podcast. But to combat not talking about video games, I am developing a new segment, which will hopefully be ready, maybe not next podcast, but the podcast after that. Definitely look forward to a Goop next podcast, a Goop Troop. But I've got a new segment in the works, and I think it's going to be good content.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Speaking of good content, I guess, that speaking of was lodged in my brain from when we were talking about, we're supposed to talk about the channel. New Dr. Payne.
Yep,
a week ago.
Bonus episode of Dr. Payne already out. You can go check it out.
I hope you like it. I called it a jam-packed bonus episode because it's ended up being fucking 47 minutes long.
And that concludes our
Miracleberry saga.
You just gave away what the video's about.
Everyone's already seen it.
Let's hope so.
It's Friday, baby. When this podcast goes up.
Oh yeah, and it's right. That was the last thing we had to do for all the people who helped us reach 100 subscribers.
No, it wasn't. We still have to let them pick
the
game that you're going to play next, which we will probably be doing in a week or two.
That's right. Actually, might have already happened when this podcast comes out.
Yeah, maybe. Tune into
Thunder and Lightning on Facebook.
Yes.
Thunder and Lightning Gaming on Facebook. Check that out if you want to have any input on the next game that I will be playing on the channel.
Yes.
You're right. So yeah, that'll be the last thing we do, and we'll probably have a new contest for all y'all before the end of the year, but we'll see.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe we'll start the year with that. We haven't talked about that yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. But yeah, thank you again for that. And this podcast ran an hour because we hadn't had one in 2 weeks, and Chris had a lot to say about his whole situation. But this podcast, our new goal time is roughly 45 minutes, same as the video game podcast. That everyone, I'm just realizing now, who wanted to listen to it has already listened to at this point, because this is going up in a week. And that the video game podcast is going up tomorrow. But that being said, thank you for listening. Thank you to Froggy and the Friendship for our theme song, Sunny Day. It's on their SoundCloud, and our Let's Play theme song is the 8-bit version of that song titled Sunny Bit, also composed by them, also on their SoundCloud, I believe. I've been told. And with that, I'm Thunder.
I'm Lightning.
I pointed at him as if he didn't know when to come in. Stay safe, stay clean, and we'll see you next time.
To play some of